This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
This job would be great if it wasn't for the fucking customers.
We're always this stupid. It is you take lessons. Just calm down.
Oh, fuck you!
You can't handle the truth.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
In other words, be nice, asshole. So let's get started with this. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Talk about Tiger King 2?
Tiger King.
All right. So welcome to a ménage à trois episode of qasincucumber and the Parent Memoirs. I'm Lara Mack.
I'm Jessica James.
And I'm Tanya Edwards.
All right. So as we did last year, we broke down Tiger King together. We're just going to do a quick breakdown of Tiger King 2 and tell Jess a little bit about the Doc Antle story that just came out yesterday that Tanya and I already binged.
I didn't even know it was out there, and Laura messaged me and told me. So last night after I watched Love After Lockup, because I am honestly on that shit, I started watching it when I was sick. I just found it. And then now
I can't with Love After Lock. I just can't.
Felon Friday every Friday.
Nope.
I have to be done with everything by 7 p.m. so that I can,
That's like your Sex in the City. You're
I
like,
have to watch
don't interrupt
Felon
watching Love
Friday.
After
You guys and your shows, I think it's hilarious.
Oh God, we're so into them.
I mean, I don't have anything else to
Yeah.
do really. Like,
Right.
You know.
Yeah. You don't have 4 kids running around to terrorize.
No.
So
no.
I get it.
So, I will say, I don't know if you guys had the same experience, because Jess has watched Tiger King 2
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
I don't know if it was COVID or what, but I didn't find Tiger King 2 as enjoyable. It was just weird.
I feel like it was just more informative and like back and side stories. Like, so that maybe you got a better understanding of the whole picture of everything, because
of the world.
It was
Right.
like the prequel.
well,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't understand how it turned into the Tim Stark story, or excuse me, Sue. Who the fuck is the Sue thing? I'm like, that
you don't
Sue.
like
that is a dissociative identity.
No, she married
disorder.
Sue. It's like,
Right?
what the fuck is wrong with this shot?
This is weird. I'm like, I'm sorry.
So-
Letitia Stout, fuck her. This guy has, and I don't even want to say he does, because honestly, it's an excuse for him
Right.
to be a dick.
right. So just real quick here. So Mike hadn't watched the first Tiger King.
Oh Lord.
And so because I had been sick, he's been sleeping on the couch for like 3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
And so I was waiting for him to wake up. He wouldn't wake up. And I was like, I really got to watch this so I know what to talk about. And so I just started watching the second season while he was asleep. And as soon as the first episode came on, he woke up and he just started watching it. And his face was just like, like his jaw was on the ground. He was like, what the fuck is this
George
shit?
never actually finished the first season.
Yeah.
Because, and I kid you not, you know my husband.
Yeah.
Okay. He said this. He was like, it's sensory overload,
Right.
Laura. I
Yep.
just can't.
And I told Mike, I was like, I'll catch you up as best I can. But if you really want to understand the dumb fuckery of it all, you got to go back and watch the first season. But
Yeah,
I mean,
catch up on his
I
bullshit.
caught him up on it. I talked to him about Doc Antle. I explained who Jeff Lowe was, and I explained, the hire to kill and all this stuff. So I did a pretty good job. But
It's
this
nothing
season,
nothing beats watching it though.
right?
Yeah.
Watching it is like the
Describing
best.
it and watching
you
it.
You just can't.
Right.
No matter how much detail you go into, you cannot do it justice.
It's
because
like Back to the Future.
Right.
Okay. If you describe Back to the Future as a movie, okay, John Mulaney does this in one of his specials. This kid is his best friend is a disgraced nuclear physicist who's either like 40 or 80.
Right.
We're not sure.
Yeah.
And they go back to the past to try to fuck his mom, and then somebody tries to rape his mom, and like,
and there's a fast car.
Like, this is just weird.
Right.
This is just super. And by the way, speaking of Back to the Future, I know we're going to get to this, but the Doc Antle thing, he drove a DeLorean.
Oh, did he really? So he rode an elephant and drove a DeLorean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at
okay,
the
we'll stop talking about that.
at the end when we finished watching season 2, I looked at Mike and I was like,
Do you want to watch?
no, I was like, so Carol Baskin, did she do it? And he was like, well, I don't know. So I told him about the whole, anchovy oil on the shoes
Yeah.
thing. He was like, meh. Maybe she did it.
Gotta watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
I did think that the move, and I knew that they did this because it was all over the news when they did it. I did think the move on buying the commercial during Dancing with the Stars was kind of balling.
Yeah.
That was a baller move right there.
Because I don't watch Dance with the Stars, so I didn't know about it until I watched Tiger King 2. And
It was a terrible commercial that
Yeah.
they put together. It did look like a hostage situation.
Yeah.
They weren't wrong about that. But that shit was funny.
I didn't watch Dancing with the Stars either, but I knew that she was on it because I heard him talking about it on the radio, and I was like, what the fuck? You gotta be kidding me. Are you serious?
No, there were a ton of articles that came out right after it happened, that I read talking about the fact that they had purchased this ad spot during Dancing with the Stars, and I almost pissed myself. I was like, oh shit. The psychic. Can we talk about the psychic?
The chicken. What the fuck was up with the chicken?
Know what the hell, sir? You could have, honestly, I feel like that man could have seen a cloud that he said looked like a chicken and be like, you see, I told you, chickens. And the daughter, I honestly thought the daughters from season 1 were reasonable. And then all of a sudden they've got this psychic. And I'm like, well, there went that.
Right.
No, don't get me wrong. I love astrology and shit like that. But if my dad was murdered, I don't know if this is the person.
Right. I'm not going to go to Ed's Chicken Farm and
It's
fucking weirdo.
Okay, here was my overall thought
Okay.
about season 2. Other than the reporter that was like always covering Tim Stark.
Yeah.
Every single motherfucker in that series is just a fame-hungry weirdo.
Right.
Even the DA,
Oh, yeah.
who was an Elvis impersonator.
That shit, yes.
He started doing his little Elvis impersonation. I looked at Mike. I was like, absolutely not.
Did you put this in your contract when you agreed to do but you have to mention my Elvis voice?
Right.
What? Every single person. It was just weird.
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of fame-hungry whores out there, but this was weird. The level, every single person.
Wait,
people that shouldn't at all.
Right.
But you're like, wait, what?
Well,
Why?
like every time they would talk to Kevin Lowe, and his wife was in the background.
Jeff Lowe.
On that, Jeff
Oh,
Lowe.
that fucking
And his
chair.
wife was on the chaise lounge, just sprawled out ever so gracefully.
And he's sitting in
in a blurry, and he's
zebra
sitting in a fucking throne. I was like, what in the fuck is going? This is some weird
happening?
shit. I did not understand.
I didn't get it.
what
I
any
really
of it was
didn't.
about. I just kept.
And Tim Stark, I told Tanya there was a moment that Tim Stark, I rewound that shit at least 40 times when he was standing by the fence and had his arms up and was like, because I am trained by the United States Army and I shoot to kill. I'm a trained sniper and I will slit their throats and I will murder them and blah, 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 blah. And then the camera pans around to see who he's talking to, and he's literally talking to tween girls.
To kids.
Yeah.
Who are standing there like, why is this old man talking to us?
Yeah. I was, because when I was watching it, because Laura had told me, she was like, wait till you see this part where he's just going the fuck off.
I had to assume that maybe they were, since there were other adults there that weren't getting defensive in how he was talking in front of those children, I had to assume that they were like family or something, like he was venting to family on the or something.
I think if I read the editing correctly,
Okay.
I think what was happening was he was waiting to go in and do a show,
Okay.
like the petting thing. So he was just talking
To patrons?
Yeah.
To people coming in.
I think that's the impression that I got because of the outfit he was wearing. And then they see him doing the show again, even though he's ordered to stop doing shows. I was like, I think he was just literally talking to patrons.
And I was hoping that because there were adults there that weren't like, hey, don't talk to my kids like this. I was hoping that maybe they were like relatives or something of his that he was venting
maybe,
to.
and if they weren't, they were probably just so
shocked
and dumbfounded by this guy just
I'd have been like, sweetie, let's just back away slowly and don't make any sudden movements.
We don't need to see your little capuchin monkey or whatever. I'm good. I'm good.
Right.
The whole we're on Team Joe now. She said that out loud. What's Jeff Lowe's wife, Lauren Lowe. Bitch, you didn't just switch alliances on Survivor. This is your life.
And
What the? This is not Instagram like Team Chriselle versus Team Christine. This is your life. What are you doing?
They're so high.
We're Team Joe now. Oh, him talking about flying a plane on ecstasy.
Oh my God. Oh, you could drive a car on ecstasy. And I was like,
no, you should
can't.
not.
That is not true. I have never done ecstasy. But guess what? My
Well,
best
I can tell you, no, you can't.
My best friend from high school did a lot of it, and I was around her a lot. And guess what I had to do when
Drive
she
her
was
around?
on it? Yes,
You cannot.
She used to call me in the weirdest places. Can you come get me? Okay, I've never taken it myself, but I've seen enough people on it to know. It not even the driving thing, okay? The flying of a plane.
Oh, if I can't drive a fucking car, a bicycle,
And the fact
scooter,
that Lauren Lowe was like, you can fly. What are you saying out loud, right? Even his wife was like, shut the fuck
they're gonna take our baby.
they should have already.
They should have
Thank you.
already.
Jesus.
They should have already. Like,
Oh my
they do
God.
not need to have a child.
No.
Fucking up. First off,
Good
I
Lord.
I
it
did
was
not
painful.
realize in the first one how little he is.
Oh, he's tiny.
I know. And then what? He was standing next to somebody in the
And then
season.
he looks like
a little
you know who he
munchkin.
reminded me of? The only thing I could think of was, remember that show King of the Hill, the dad?
Oh
Cotton?
yeah.
That's what he didn't have any shins. That's what he looked like to me. Was
I thought he was.
Cotton Hill.
I thought he was a much bigger guy.
So did I.
He carries himself like
He
he
does.
will, but he has little man syndrome. That's the
Totally.
fucking problem. That's what the
That's
know,
why you have the tiger.
jeans and the leather jackets and the bandanas, all that, and the tigers and shit. He has little man syndrome.
And
Calm
stealing
down, Petite Pete. I need to
stealing from the women's
Right.
shelter.
fucked up.
Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's
oh
pretty messed
my
up.
God.
Well, you have to
Fuck
watch the third
right
one.
off.
It's not that long. I watched it last night.
So yeah, let's talk about the third one real quick because here was my message to Tanya. Okay. Oh, real quick about the Tim Stark thing. Here's the delusion. Not only was he talking about the sniper stuff of it
Yeah.
all, but the fact that later on, after all of this, I'm a sniper, blah 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 blah. I'll shoot to kill. He says when they first go onto the property and he's talking to them at the van, and he's like, the judge has the authority. These people do not have the authority. Blah 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 blah. And then he says, I haven't threatened anybody.
I know.
Right.
Every time. I haven't physically threatened anybody. Really, you're talking about shooting everybody.
And slitting throats and all. Sir,
And then
can we rewind 30 seconds? Because you said it. Or was that Sue?
And then he stuffed a bunch of animals in a fucking
Box truck.
box thingy, and
They'd have
had 'em
died.
sitting out there.
They'd have died.
Yeah, and
Like-
people found him. I was like, oh my God.
Ugh.
Do you not know you're being taped? Do you not understand what this is happening here?
Thank you. Okay, but we'll get back to, let's talk about the new one. So the Doc Antle. So much to unpack here.
Okay.
But there is some funny shit. First of all, he's not a doctor.
right.
He's a carnival magician who learned yoga. That's what it is. Okay? Him saying, I'm an MD. No, you're fucking not, Kevin. Your name isn't Bhagavan. It's Kevin.
Your name is Kevin. And apparently he's not too great in bed either, because the
Yeah.
one girl was like, yeah, much to my dismay, it was not,
Underwhelming.
it was underwhelming.
That's why you got to ride an elephant.
I know.
Here's what's amazing about the show, and I know Tanya probably disagrees with me, but I love these ladies. I want to be like all of them. They're the most delightfully kooky little hippie ladies.
They really are. Like,
They're so delightful. I loved them
one
all.
of them is like sitting like crisscross applesauce.
Ton of them are.
And she's sitting in a chair and she's got a fan.
Oh yeah, just.
And
stunning.
are these older ladies or
Yes,
young?
these
like
are ladies
my
because
age and older.
He got trained by somebody named Swami Sakadananda, right? And Swami Sakadananda, he had this place called Yogaville.
Okay.
And he went and I know, right?
Yogaville. I shit whenever I said, when he was like, yeah, we lived in Yogaville. Yogaville?
You may as well have called it Yoga Castle. Like,
right.
what the fuck?
Yoga land.
Good Christ.
I'm a yogaite.
Whatever. Anyway, he basically got trained in how to be a predator, it seems like, at Yogaville. And eventually left. Yeah, whatever. I don't want to spoil too much. Let's just talk about the high points. Okay. One of the ladies said this sentence, and there was so much to unpack. It was, I used to travel state to state making money at Renaissance festivals, and I met Bhagavan while walking my ferret through a forest.
And here he was, this man walking a tiger. And I was like, wow, do you hire?
There's so much to it.
And then I started working for him.
Why are you walking a ferret? Number one. Number two, why did you see a man with a tiger and ask to get a job? What?
Yeah.
There's so much. It hurt that sentence. I was sitting in the drive-thru last night waiting to get dinner, and I had to pause it and text John. I was like, she met him while walking her ferret through a forest.
If that's not the beginnings of a good...
Of every major rom-com from the last 20
Nora
years.
Ephron really missed out there, didn't she?
Right.
Stupid. You thought When Harry Met Sally was a blockbuster.
Wait till you get a load of Ferret Forest.
Wow.
It's out of control, I'm telling you. Oh my God.
And it seems like he preyed on girls whose parents were just like, hey, you can do whatever you want. Really.
Yeah.
Except for one girl, her mom was like adamant, that one girl with the long dark hair.
Yeah.
I forget her name. Her mom was like calling the police all the time, got
Oh, yeah.
fired from her job because she was like...
Here was what was fascinating about her, because at first she annoyed me. They ran off together when she was 15. They forged her father's name on a marriage license and got married, right? Which is illegal.
Right.
Obviously. But she, in talking about this, honestly, this sexual abuse and she seemed to recognize that it was sexual abuse.
Yeah.
She was very kind of lighthearted about it and very kind of giggly. And at first I didn't understand. I was like, why? And then it come to the end and I was like, that's why she's giggly. Because she took her power back at the end. What she did was she waited till he was out of town with his new girlfriend, cleaned out their bank account, went through and ransacked everything that they owned for the stuff that she owned, but the stuff that she would need to keep him from fucking with her.
Mm.
And then she found a vibrator that she knew wasn't hers. She threw all of his shit on a bed, dumped out all this perfume that he got for somebody else all over it, turned on the vibrator and left, right? And he didn't fuck with her because she had and she said it. He didn't mess with me because she had seen the way he had treated other people.
And his real wife, the way he had done her, the stuff he had done to her.
Fuck.
Like, he used to beat her up and choke her and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And now she's like a half debilitated
but
drunkard. So,
I'm going to
poor
put the
lady.
link down at the bottom again. If you are in an abusive situation, there are resources, but especially chokers,
They'll
people
kill you.
who strangle you,
will kill you.
they will kill you. That is statistically, they will kill you.
There's a guy that so we hire
Everybody.
every free felon in the fucking world, and we had this guy that was working for us, and he was dating one of our agents too. And she came to work one day and she had big choke marks on her neck, right? So I was like, you need to be really careful, blah blah blah. She gets rid of him, everything, she's good now. But somebody sent me a link a couple months ago. His ass is in jail because he choked a bitch to death.
Oh my God. I'm telling you guys, that is one of the key indicators. If you read about domestic violence and stuff like that, if you are with somebody who likes to choke you, get out. It is the leading indicator, I believe, of they're going to kill you.
That's what they said.
They're going to kill you. So, let's see what else we got here about Mr. Antle. Good God.
He looks like the
creepy.
guy, the comic book store guy from The Simpsons to me. He really does.
The big gut and the
Yeah,
ponytail.
yeah, that's what he looks like to me.
Oh
His
my
comic store
God.
guy from
That's
The Simpsons.
hilarious. Yeah,
That's
I
all
can
I
see
could
that.
think of last night when I was watching it. I was like, because the whole time when I watched the first one and anytime I've seen him, I'm like, God, who does he remind me of? And then last night it fucking hit me, and I text Laura and I was like, how the fuck? No wonder he has to prey on little kids. He looks like the fucking comic book store guy from The
Yeah.
Simpsons.
All right, 2 more quick facts and then we'll wrap this up. One, this was the weirdest, how he got together with his first wife when he was Kevin. Okay. This was the weirdest fucking thing.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about now. She was dating his neighbor.
Okay.
Okay. His neighbor, like his parents weren't cool with them like hanging out. So they would go over to Kevin's house.
Okay.
Right. To hang out. Well, then her boyfriend started sleeping with Kevin's mom.
Ew.
And broke up with her. And she told this girl that this boy just broke up with to date her. I know you're very upset about this. Why don't you try dating Kevin, my son? And she did.
And she did.
Why wouldn't you just be like, this situation's a little fucked up.
Can
Peace
I just
out.
extract myself from this whole Jerry Springer episode and call it a motherfucking day? What the hell? I just was like, wait
Yeah.
a minute.
Yeah.
How did you meet this?
Wow. That's real classy.
Yeah, I stole your boyfriend. Why don't you date my son? Ew.
They seemed like they were all messing around.
They were
Right.
totally
Yeah.
messing around.
The whole...
All right, last little thing. Matt's death. Somebody dies in it. It's, in the words of the immortal Bailey Sarian, it is suspicious as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I want to know. And they didn't answer the one thing. They finally say, okay, yes, his death is suspicious, but there was somebody who was a witness to it, and he talked to his brother and told him the story, and it was I cried. When he told him about the peaches, I cried. You'll see it. But the thing that broke me was I was like, wait. And they never addressed it.
No.
He told him, no, nobody pushed him. He jumped and did this and blah, blah, blah. And he died. Okay, fine. He was trying to do like a trick, apparently.
Oh, okay.
But then the brother says, but you saw this. So we know it wasn't. He says, well, I didn't see it. Somebody else did. And the allegation is that Bhagavan killed him. Right?
Okay.
He goes through telling this whole story and then says, but I didn't see it. Who was the other person?
Right.
Because I thought, oh shit,
And instead
who
of
was
waiting-
it? And they never said who the person was who saw it. Was it Bhagavan? Was it Kevin?
And then wasn't it weird that instead of letting the authorities call the family to let them know,
Yeah.
Bhagavan did.
Mm-hmm.
He felt like it was his place to call and let the family know that dude was dead.
It was messy.
Yeah.
It was
that
very
sounds
messy.
like it.
So honestly, for me, skip Tiger King 2. Watch the Doc Antle one. What was your thoughts on Tiger King 2?
I thought it was all very interesting. I thought it was interesting to learn some different sides of the story.
It's
And now I have to question, does Joe Exotic really belong in jail?
Yes,
or was
he
he
does.
just scammed?
No,
I mean,
he does.
but-
Honestly, he doesn't. This whole like, oh, it's time for us and Jeff Lowe me and Jeff Lowe to trade place. He still belongs in jail.
Oh,
For what?
Killing the animals.
Okay,
yeah,
so
for
for
that.
yeah, but he never actually did anything to any actual people, though.
Right,
For
right.
No,
animal
but the-
abuse,
but
sure.
the dozens of tigers
Yes.
that they
Okay.
found,
And I
that
gotta
he
say,
killed.
if Karen Baskins did kill her husband,
right?
He's a piece
good
of
job.
shit.
Right? He
Good
was a piece
fucking
of shit,
job.
too.
Yeah.
He
That was kinda
a
my-
scumball. Like,
They did not
thank
make
you,
that clear.
Carol.
Okay, now
They
the
didn't
only
make
other-
that clear in the first season.
No, and the only other question that I have, because I'll be honest, I really kind of felt sympathetic after all of season 2 for Joe, because do you think he would have like ended up in this position if his first husband hadn't died? I don't think he would have.
I don't think he would.
I don't think
I
he
agree with
would.
that, but I have
I think he
zero
kind of
sympathy.
lost
I
it a little
think
bit.
I'm
he-
sorry. I have zero sympathy for him.
I understand.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. You're allowed to not be as compassionate as I am. No, I'm teasing. But no, I just, looking at the picture as a whole,
Yeah.
that's when he lost his shit.
Yeah.
I
Was
think
when
that-
his husband died. his
Yeah,
first
I
husband.
think that's when everything really kind of
Yeah.
went downhill for
Absolutely.
him.
Lost it.
And I guess maybe it's not really sympathy I feel for him. It's just sad that
Yeah.
his life has turned out that way for him, I guess.
Right.
I get that, but for me, I'm like, you fucking killed baby tigers. You
Right,
killed
no, I
tigers.
mean, that definitely.
I'm sorry.
He needs
Yeah.
to be. Yeah, there's a
Fuck
there has
him.
to be a punishment for that.
Fuck him.
And
for just being a shitty person.
Right.
I
And,
know.
And now that he's drawn a sober breath while he's in prison,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't tell me while they were filming this first one that this motherfucker was not high as a goddamn
Oh, of course.
giraffe's pussy. Like he was just so fucking. They were all fucked off. They were all twacked out of their fucking
Yeah.
cords. You can't
Yeah.
tell me they weren't.
No. All right, we're going to wrap this up because our guests are starting to arrive. I just heard Pete bark, so we're going to wrap this up. I am going to put the link to the wild animal sanctuary that is actually here in Colorado where Joe Exotic and Jeff Lowe's animals were sent. I actually did a lot of research on it because I was like, is this just another fucking Carol Baskin zoo? Because that's not a sanctuary, that's a zoo. Whatever.
Wait, are they eating Walmart meat, like old Walmart meat? What's going on?
I did a lot of research on it. I'm going to put that link down below if you want to donate. I donated to them. They actually seem to be a truly amazing organization that does awesome things for these animals. Because, yeah.
Because we don't want the animals eating old Walmart meat
because
from
that's
a dumpster.
disgusting. Thank you very much. All right. So thank you for joining us. We will talk to you guys in the new year. So until next time, I'm Lara Mack.
I'm Jessica James.
I'm Tanya Edwards.
Love your faces.
Keep it sane.
Smooches.
Ta-da!
I almost forgot my damn name.
That was amazing.
Like what you hear? Rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or your favorite podcasting platform. And follow us on our Facebook page by searching Q as in Cucumber. Don't forget to check out our other show, hosted by me and Jessica James, called The Parent Memoirs. And we want to hear from you. Share your stories by emailing us at qasincucumber@yahoo.com, and you might just hear your stories on a future episode. Love your faces!
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.